Stellar Blade might win Game of the Year. It's for sure one of the best PS5 exclusives this year and now one of the big PS5 Pro enhanced titles. On the regular PS5, you get 3 graphic modes in Stellar Blade: prioritize performance, balance, and prioritize resolution. PS5 Pro still features those same 3 older modes, but with the Pro, you get 2 new exclusive graphic modes. There's Pro mode and Pro Max mode. I feel like someone from Apple marketing works at Sony with those names. Pro mode is a better version of balance, and Pro Max is a better version of prioritized resolution. The 2 new modes also work in the Pro exclusive 120Hz option. We'll talk about those in a bit, but first let's talk about the loading times. Continuing the game from dashboard is faster on the PS5 Pro. I mean, it's only 2 seconds, but still faster even with that larger 2TB SSD. Let's not talk about the graphics. I'm gonna be comparing balance mode on the regular console to Pro mode on the PS5 Pro, and then prioritize resolution on the regular console to Pro Max a bit later. First up is the balance versus Pro comparison. Both modes do target 60 FPS. PS5 Pro does use PSSR upscaling here, and that clearly makes everything look sharper. All the edges are smoother. You're really going to see that difference if you play on a large 4K OLED display. Now, is it a huge difference worth the extra $250? Probably not for most gamers, but for Stellar Blade, you can clearly see that improvement. Unlike a lot of other titles like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, where the PS5 Pro isn't being utilized properly. Next up, we have prioritized resolution versus Pro Max mode. This is essentially the highest graphics fidelity, the highest resolution settings on both consoles. The regular PS5 is locked to 30 FPS, while the Pro does target 60. So for sure, you're gonna get a better FPS, but what's interesting is how the Pro Max mode can deliver even higher, more sharper image quality in some cases. This right here is a good example. Pro Max clearly improves that image quality. You'll also notice the colors are more vibrant and less washed out. The character's hair is actually a proper dark black. There's also some differences in the lighting, the shadows, and overall the game just looks a lot better, and it's best on the PS5 Pro with Pro Max mode. Keep in mind the resolution scaling here is all dynamic, so in certain cases you can't really see much of a difference, while in other cases the PS5 Pro advantage is more obvious. In case you're wondering, here I'm also comparing the Pro mode versus the Pro Max mode, both modes exclusive to the PS5 Pro. You can clearly see the differences between them. The biggest is perhaps the colors, the lighting, things just look a bit more vibrant and sharper in that Pro Max mode. Now let's talk about the performance, the FPS. Here I'm showing balanced on the regular console versus Pro on the PS5 Pro. Both consoles target 60 FPS, but both do get drops. The drops are more significant on the regular console, and the more powerful PS5 Pro does hold things better. This is a game where the developers really knew how to take advantage of the PS5 Pro's new features. Next up is that prioritized resolution mode versus Pro Max mode. This is of course a huge difference. The regular console is locked to 30 FPS here. It's a solid lock without any drops, but the PS5 Pro that targets double that, 60 FPS. Now of course the Pro is not gonna get you a solid 60. Most of the time you're gonna get performance in the low 50s, but still that extra 20 to 25 FPS is quite noticeable for an action game like this. If you have a PS5 Pro, you really have no business selecting one of those 3 older modes. Stick to either Pro or Pro Max. There's another feature exclusive to those 2 new modes on the PS5 Pro, 120Hz display support. You do need a compatible display like a LG C4. Here I tested the performance with that unlocked frame rate. Pro mode sees as high as 80 FPS. With Pro Max mode, you're still gonna be in that low 50s most of the time, so that's similar to what we saw in performance without turning on 120Hz. So you can play Stellar Blade on the PS5 Pro up to 80 FPS. Does that matter for a game that's not a first-person shooter? Likely not. I mean, 60 FPS is good enough here, so anything higher is more or less just a way of bragging that your console spits out a higher FPS counter. So that's what you need to know about Stellar Blade on PS5 versus PS5 Pro. This is for sure one of the better optimized games, an example where the PS5 Pro Enhance actually makes a difference. There's clear improvements in the graphics and image quality while also giving you 20 to 20 FPS performance advantage. For the rest of the video, I have some more side-by-side comparisons, so check those out and let me know if there's something I missed.
Let's see what's here.
Wait. I hear something.
Eve, look up!